Number 1, learn how a computer works. I'm not saying be a whiz or go to like computer science classes or anything like that, but learn the basic components that go in a computer. So you don't have to go buy a pre-built computer somewhere. You can go buy the components that come in a computer, like a hard drive, CPU, motherboard, GPU, and you can build your own computer that's like 10 times better than a pre-built one that you'll get at like some store. And it'll last way longer. Number 2, sound selection. This one's really important. This is one I personally feel like I wish I focused a little bit more on when I started. You know, this is about like making sure you have the right bass with the right synthesizer or like pad or piano, even down to like the drums. You know, you want the right kick with the right snare. A good way to get an idea of how to like start a pattern or have proper sound selection is to watch other producers do their thing. If you like Alchemist or like Dr. Dre or like Murda Beats or like Tiny, listen to their hit songs and get an idea of the different drum patterns they use, but also like the sound selections they have, all the way from like the vocals, how they were recorded, how they sound, down to like the piano, the melody structures, the synths, the pads, the bass, the snares, the kick, the hi-hat, all of that. Sound selection, super important. Number 3, chop your loops. Do whatever you gotta do to be creative with your loops. Try not to get a loop and just literally loop it. You know, try to get like a loop like this, chop it in half, you know, chop that in half and the other one in half and like make one of the halves like a different octave, you know, reverse it, stretch it out, bring it in, put some delays on it, put some reverb on it, compression, you know, a ton of effects. Maybe not a ton of effects, but experiment, you know? Don't be too like simpleton about it, you know? You don't want to just have it looping and looping. I mean, of course, you might find something that is just like, damn, that sounds so good, and like you have a beat with it, and sometimes you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna put that out. That's cool. You know, that's actually pretty cool. I respect that. And I do that sometimes too. So I'm not saying don't ever do it, but open your mind up a little bit and be a little bit more creative when you're using loops. Number 4, save your money. When you make money from music, pay your debt. And also, you don't need a ton of gear to make really dope music. All you really need is like a laptop and like a MIDI controller, maybe a drum machine. That's really all you need to start out. You don't need to get a ton of stuff. You want to have the stuff that you have now make money for you so then you can get the stuff that you want. You know, and of course, if you have debt, pay that off. That's important. But if you also want to have something super cool like a rack mount or like an analog synthesizer, you know, definitely save up for that and put in the hard work saving up for it. You know, if you want your royalties to pay it off, wait until you get that money, because then by the time you have it, you might want something else. So it's important to save. Number 5, put out your music. Don't stack it up in your hard drive. Don't have a ton of unfinished beats or songs. Even if you do, go back to them, you know, try to revisit them for like no more than 30 minutes or an hour, tops. Do what you wanna do, don't overthink it. Just try to get it to the best sound you possibly can and release that. People like to see a journey, you know, they like to see growth from the bottom up. So if they see that you're releasing something that's not at your full potential, but they want to hear more, they're gonna follow. And then if you have something that is really awesome later on that you release, they're gonna love it. And they're gonna be like, yo, I followed that person from day one. So release your music. People love to see the journey.